We live in such an incredible time right now when we're able to market our businesses, advertise our businesses, get free PR, all of the things that we want and need to be able to share a business and let the world know about our brand without spending a whole lot of money. So I'm not going to talk to you about any tactics like, ads or anything like that today. Those are definitely tactics that can be in your arsenal and that should probably at some point be in your arsenal for advertising. But I'm going to talk to you about all of the free options that you have and the things to think about when you are actually creating a brand and creating a new business and all of the tools that are available to us in 2022. I just want to bring to the forefront some things to think about and some mistakes to avoid. So in these next 10 tips, that's what I'm going to do for you. So stay tuned and let's jump right in. Hi, Remarkables. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Ashlee Tate and I am a brand communication strategist. And what I do on this channel is really talk about the social side of branding, helping creatives, change makers, and small business owners design a life and business that they love through intentional branding so you can make an income and an impact. Now, the first thing I want to do is just remind you that when you are starting a brand, you have to understand that you are the brand. So whether you're starting a nonprofit, you're starting a for-profit, a small business, a blog, whatever type of business you are starting, if you just want to be a creator online, an influencer, whatever it is, all of us are our brand, and how we make other people feel, how we're able to connect with them, how they're able to connect with our message and engage with our content is really what creates a brand. So the reason I say that is because I don't want you to get too worried about what you name your brand, what your brand colors are, how your brand matches up to others and how it looks to others. Those things are very minute in the grand scheme of things of being online. The most important thing that you can possibly do and have online is have a good, strong message for people to understand exactly what it is that you do, how you can help them, and why they should spend their time watching you or listening to you or reading your information. So in these 10 tips that I'm going to jump into here, I just want to make sure that I start off with that reminder that you are the brand. And I'm going to give you a few pieces of advice to take along with you. And also, I do want to make sure that you know that there is a free worksheet that I use inside the course with my students. If you're interested in that, it's a branding worksheet that will walk you through a lot of the questions and things that I'm going to talk about today, so you can take your time and really go through all of these steps without feeling like you need to write down everything. So go ahead and get that download. It will be down below under the branding worksheet. Now, like I said, none of the tips I'm going to be sharing today have anything to do with you spending money, but it will require a little bit of elbow grease and a little bit of fortitude. Let me just say that. It's going to require you to do some digging for yourself, some introspective thinking, and some actual work and research. So sorry about that in advance. Okay, so let's keep going. Tip number 1 is to get clarity on your audience, okay? Your people are the most important piece of your business. Now, if you have a product, that's fantastic and that's awesome, but your people are going to have to be the people that use the product, right? So your people are your number 1. They're going to be the people that you're going to spend the most time on. I actually encourage all of my clients that are in the group coaching course, the Unleash Your Profit course, to spend a lot of time on this area. And this is research, okay? You want to research your audience. You want to know, where do they hang out? Like, what are their pain points? What's holding them back from being a part of your business? Or we want to know what it is that they want, what do they need, and where is the intersection between your expertise and what you're offering and what they actually need and want. So the message there is really important, because that's what tells people, yes, this is the right person for me, or no, it's not. So that combined with feelings and emotions and things like that they get from your brand and how they interact with your brand are really important. So think about spending at least 60% of your time doing research. Now, we're not just going to research people, which brings me into number 2. Number 2 is actually understanding and clarifying your message. So one of the interesting things is I'm right in the middle of doing a rebrand for myself. So what I'm doing is trying to just clarify my message. And that's important to do no matter how long you've been in business, no matter what type of business you have. It's good to understand that there has to be clarity in your message in order for people to understand who this is for and why they need to pay attention. So make sure you get clear in your message. What is it that you want people to leave understanding about your brand? What is it that you want them to go and say to someone else about your brand? So in the world of marketing and in the world of branding, we call this positioning. And it's important that you research not only your message, but that you also go and research your competitors' messages and see what everyone else is doing in that landscape so that you can see where you fit in the best, who you work with the best, and how you're going to kind of ease your way into that crowded market. So it doesn't really matter how crowded the market is. There are some easier ways to go. But if you're going to come and jump into marketing or branding or something like that, you just need to figure out what's your way of doing it different than anyone else. So just think about your branding. Try to research your branding and really understand what it is you're trying to say and the message you really want to get across and the message that's going to set you apart from everyone else. The third tip and third P is your platform. So you need to find a place where you can be found. So when you're starting on your platform, you really want to find a place that people are already searching, and I call this your searchable platform. So these would be places like YouTube, Google, a podcast now, since they're now searchable. So find your best mode of communication. Do you like to write? Do you like to speak? Would you rather be on camera? You guys can see that I gesticulate a lot using my hands. And so camera is much better for me to connect with someone rather than via a podcast, which may have done just as well, but this is how I choose to connect. So how do you choose to connect with your audience? Because that is going to be very important. And it's going to be one of the keys to really getting your brand out there, helping people understand your brand and what you do and how you do it and how you can help them. Okay, so my last P and my fourth tip is to know your goal and build in public. Now, if you watched my last video about branding is like dating, then you know what I'm talking about when I say build in public. But for this situation, when you're just starting out, one of the things that is going to be a real struggle is dealing with self-doubt, dealing with fear, dealing with imposter syndrome, dealing with a lot of things. These are all very real. They're gonna come and I want you to welcome them. I want you to acknowledge them. I want you to process it and I want you to move past it because all of us have to build in public. All of us have to show, like, people will see your failures. People will see when a YouTube video didn't do well or when an Instagram post tanked or where you have a typo or whatever the case. So don't worry about that. Everyone makes those mistakes. Everyone doesn't come out and just kill it right away, and that's okay. Because if you're playing the long game, you understand that you will get better over time and you will grow your business over time. And let me tell you, in the tribe, we have over 700 people, I think over 750 now. And the thing is that they don't care. Like, people want to feel connected to you. They want to feel like you care about what they're doing. And if you can encourage people along the way and you can help them in whatever aspect you have to offer, you will be okay in business. Don't be afraid to fail in public. These are just part of the long game, part of the process, part of how building a brand works. So I hope that's a little motivation for you not to give up, not to worry about, the imperfections that are going to come along with things. Number 5, one of the best things I have done starting a brand and building a brand over the last few years is building a community. And that community is truly, I feel like, my tribe, my people. These are the people who really understand, I think, the core of who I am, what I'm trying to put out to them, that I'm trying to encourage and motivate. And you want to have people who are kind of like your ride or die fans. You may not have millions of those ride or die fans, but the fans that you do have are going to be the most important people to you. and they're going to keep you going even when you sometimes feel like you don't want to keep going. So remember that, and get out there and start building that community as well. So when you start creating whatever you're creating on that searchable platform, remember that you want to have a place to direct them to too. So you want to tell them to, you know, join your community or join your list or whatever that may be. But those things are really important. So a lot of people will start with an email list. And I think that's a great place to start, just because an email is, at this point in 2022, pretty sacred. And if someone says, hey, yeah, I want to give you my email address so that you can connect with me or that I can connect with you, that's a pretty big deal. So we have to keep that in mind, and really use our email list to connect with our viewership and our followers and our people and all of that. So that is one of the biggest things that I talk about inside of the course. I talk a lot about building out that email list, building out that community, and just having a place for people that are like-minded in one spot so they can connect with each other as well. Okay, so moving on to number 6. Now, some of you are not gonna like what I have to say on number 6, but this is the truth, okay? If you are working a job right now and you have a stable income and you're able to take care of your family or take care of yourself without stressing, I would recommend that you keep that job for the next 6 months or a year. And the reason for that is because there is no point in trying to build a business, and unless you have a lot of savings, which is great if you do, then I have nothing to say to you. But for those of you who are thinking about just, I'm gonna quit my job and I'm just gonna start this 100%, I'm gonna say, please do not do that, because the worst thing you can do is add stress to yourself because you did not create some sort of boundary for yourself to say, okay, look, I wanna create this business, but I'm not going to, you know, basically I'm not gonna cut off my nose to spite my face, okay? We are going to keep ourselves afloat. We are going to have income coming in, and you're gonna build this on the side. And I would think of it as a side hustle, because at first, just to see and test things, to see if it works or not, see if you like it, see if you like the audience you're attracting. And all of that will take some time to really see and get into the groove of things. And one of the things that you'll start to find is that batching will be a huge way to help you be able to work on the side and then also get your videos out or do your podcast or interviews or whatever the case. So try to change your mindset from completely just stopping work if you have an income coming in right now, and think of it more from a transition aspect. Like, I'm gonna try to transition over the next 6 months to a year to working on my own. So that would be my biggest tip for those of you who do have an income coming in, until you start to kind of build out your funnel and really start to make an income from this new business. I would not stop working, okay? So I know some of you don't want to hear that, I'm sorry, but it is actually like, it's sound advice. Okay, now to piggyback off of the last one and number 6, number 7 is all about entrepreneurship is not easy, okay? I know there's a big hustle culture out there, and it's like, you know, don't sleep and stay up till midnight and, you know, stay up till the next day if you have to, whatever. I don't believe in that. I've never subscribed to that. I have a family. I am married. I've got a lot of other things going on. And I believe that you can carve out time for your business. But I don't think your business should really, like, you should not be shaping your life around your business, you know? You should really be shaping your business around your lifestyle. And I feel like that's a really important key to having a balanced work-life situation. And you have to figure out what is most important to you. Like, what do you value the most? How do you want to set up a business, and what type of business do you want to set up? I mean, if you want to be jet setting everywhere and doing talks and all types of things like that, that's what's exciting to you, and your family can handle that, then I'll go for it, right? But if you're someone who, they're like, for me, my family is really important. And so I'm never going to be seeking those types of opportunities. And if the opportunity comes, I will look to see if it works with my family. And if it doesn't, then I don't do it. So you really always have to weigh out, like, you know, what's most important to you when it comes to values, and what you want to place a lot of your energy into and a lot of your time into, and how it's going to affect your overall lifestyle. So number 8. Now, a lot of times in the course, I will have students who are saying that they tried to make this worksheet, you know, perfect, and they tried to do this perfectly and everything tried to be perfect. You don't need to be perfect. All you need to be perfect in is showing up as your authentic self and being clear about your messaging, being clear about who you're trying to help, and having your, you know, platform right. All of those 3 things, those top 3 things, are really the places that you need to focus if you feel like you need to focus on perfection or something. But perfection is not the way of 2022, just so you know. Everybody's creating, everybody is doing it their own special way. Some people, you know, are grabbing the camera and they're doing vlogs and they're all over the place and they're showing you their life and the funny things that are happening to them. And they're building a massive following. I don't want you to think you have to be perfect. You just need to be perfect in being authentic. That's the place where I'm going to tell you, that's where you really want to focus the majority of your time, is learning how to be authentic, learning how to really show up as yourself. And it takes practice, 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 more than you would believe, because when that camera turns on, most people are like, what do I say? And that's not uncommon. Everybody has to work through that. Like, even for myself at this point, I listen to Diana Ross, I'm coming out, and then I sit down and I record my video so that I have the right energy. I've got the right, you know, authentic space and mindset so that I can come out here and really connect with my audience, really connect with anyone watching this video so that they understand the true Ashlee coming through instead of the shocked, the camera's on Ashlee, right? So, and I love a camera, you guys, so I really shouldn't have a problem, but it happens to all of us, right? So anyway, just understand you don't need to be perfect. And I don't want you to be perfect. Nobody really wants you to be perfect. We want to see the true side of who you are. So show up that way. Now, number 9 is something I spend quite a bit of time in my course talking to and coaching our students through this, is that you want to use other people's platforms, okay? So I have a background in public relations. I think it's a great skill for anyone to learn. And so I do try to teach that inside of the course. And when I'm coaching, we talk a lot about this. So other people's platforms, or we call it OPP, is a great place for you to build out your audience, okay? So speaking on other people's podcasts, writing for Medium, guest posting on someone else's blog. Once you know your angle and you know it well, you will not have a problem pitching yourself and learning how to make those types of things happen for yourself, right? Where, you know, you can be featured somewhere else, or you can write for Entrepreneur Magazine, or you can write for Inc. Magazine, any of those places, so that you can actually build out your readership and reach new audiences. So if that's something that you want to learn, come join us in the Unleash Your Profit coaching course. We have a lot of information in there that you go through on your own, and then you come to the weekly coaching meetings and we talk to you and just walk you through everything. And by we, I don't know why I keep saying that, it's me. Now for my last tip, I want to just say this from the bottom of my heart, okay? It's something that a lot of my students have struggled with. A lot of people that I've ever consulted have struggled with. You want to focus on strategy more than you want to focus on tactics. And the reason I say that is because there are like a million tactics out there that you could use to boost your business, share your message. You can shake your butt on TikTok. You can do a lot of different things, and you can make all the reels in the world. But if your audience is not there, it doesn't matter, right? So no one that you care to see it is there. Like your customers are not there. And even if your customers are there, because it's not really authentic to you and not part of your actual overall strategy, it isn't working the way you're hoping it would work. So I just want to make that very clear. I'm very passionate about this. This is one of the big things we talk about in the course. That's one of the big things that we talk about, because as a leader, when you are leading a brand and you're leading, you know, so you have interns or you have other people working for you, you have your team, you are a leader and you really need to know where you are taking people and how you're trying to get there. So as you can see, none of these tips had anything to do with creating a business with money or needing any money. You could literally start today building a brand and not pay out any money, because you need to create a business license and get all of that in order. There's a lot of admin tasks that will go along with that. And I think a business license, at least here in California, I believe is like $35 if you wanted to start there first. But creating a brand, like I started in the beginning, creating a brand is really focused on you, okay? How people connect with you. So you might create a brand and start, talking about something and having an email list and not have a full-on business yet. You may not be licensed as a business yet because you may not be selling any products just yet, right? And maybe you're just doing a lot of testing. Maybe you're not going to start a business for another year, but you've been creating the brand for the last year and brand recognition of who you are, things you like to talk about, free information. We live in an information economy. And the deal is that anyone can give you that information. Anyone that you connect with or that connects with you that says, oh, you know what? That person resonates with me. I like the way they speak. I like the way they talk. I like the way they engage. I want to continue following this person. So you don't have to start a business with a business license immediately, but you do have to start a brand. And the brand is going to outlast any business you start. Whether you have, one business over here, you have multiple businesses over time, it is the brand that you're going to remember. How many of you realize that there have been so many brands that have been bought out, but you still really enjoy the brand, right? When Steve Jobs passed away, I didn't really see much of a difference in how Apple connected with us, how their products were. We didn't see a decline. They continued on that vision because he did such a good job building out a brand that we all connected with, and then showing his team the same vision and hoping that they would continue the mission of building Apple to that vision that he ultimately saw, right? And so that's why it's so important that as a leader, you really have your own vision and you have an understanding of what the strategy is, not just the little tactics along the way. Because there's always going to be some shiny new social media. There's always going to be a new shiny platform, a new everything, okay? But these are the core things that are going to stick with you in building a business, building a brand that will actually last. So I hope this video helped you guys. I hope you got a lot of information from this. I would love to know what tip you enjoyed the most. And which tip you really kind of needed to hear in order to be able to just pull the trigger and start building that brand. I had a great time chatting with you guys today. And if you are interested in wanting a personalized strategy created for you or someone just to walk along the journey with you, definitely go check out the Unleash Your Profit course. I will leave the link down below, and don't forget to get your branding worksheet so that if you wanted to go through some of these questions that I already talked about or some of the things that I brought up, it's all in that worksheet and you can check it out and start kind of crafting your brand today. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, get out there and unleash your something amazing, and I will see you next week.